Okay, you can start.
Okay, you can start. I can start. Okay, fantastic. So, hello everyone. Buongiorno. I think is this the right way you say that in Italy? But this is where my Italian ends. So I'm going to be the reason for everyone around having this session today in English. I hope it's fine for everyone. Thank you so much, Manuel and Alex, for having me today. I'm Kami Paleschi. I'm a director of solutions at Ibexa. And I'm here today to give you a brief overview of Ibexa DXP platform. I want to give you some examples of our clients, of our customers, what we do for them, how we solve different problems, but also want to give you an idea about the methodology we use when we face new clients, when we face new opportunity, when we try to help them out finding themselves in this whole difficult world of digital transformation. I know you had some amazing presentations this morning, and there is more to come. So some topics will be probably overlapping a bit, but I hope this is going to be interesting for you. Few words about the agenda for today. Starting from maybe an obvious question: what is the DXP? There's probably as many answers as many people you ask the question to. So I would like to give you my answer. I would like to give you an answer from the Ibexa DXP perspective. I also want to introduce you to the product a little bit, but then, as mentioned before, I would really like to focus on the methodology itself. I can already reveal that it has at least 5 steps, and I will go through every single one, showing you some examples and how different certain things have been achieved with the platform itself. Moving forward, well, what is DXP? As I said before, probably everyone around knows. But that's fair to start from the beginning. And in order to get there, I allowed myself to borrow this definition from Gartner. So Gartner says that a digital experience platform is an integrated set of core technologies that support the composition, management, delivery, and optimization of contextualized digital experiences. Is this definition correct? Well, it is. But I like to define it slightly differently, still being within the original definition, but this is how I like to look at the digital experience platforms. So, in our understanding, it always composes of 4 basic pillars, where you have content, data, automation, and transaction. And we believe that this complex thing can be really broken down to those four elements. As you can imagine, content is always in the core of each and every single digital experience. The content means, of course, the website, the website content, videos, images, all the files that people can download, but also everything that can be presented in the mobile app or digital kiosk or presentation at the event. It's often coming from the same data source, from the same content source. On top of that, of course, the data, simply put, who, what, when, and why. And we truly believe that every single B2B company likes to know, and know as much as possible, especially about their clients. It helps delivering the right message to the right audiences at the right time. Then the next one in this picture is automation. From automating very simple repetitive work, such as, sending an invoice, to much more complicated data synchronization operations. B2B companies tend to automate as much as possible. Well, for obvious reasons, the more you automate, the less cost you generate, but also you make your operations and simply your life easier if you can get rid of all of these repetitive, sometimes even boring work to be done. And finally, the 4th pillar in this picture is about transactions. So, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal for many companies is to allow the customers to give them this possibility to make purchases, to buy products, to buy services. That's the way we look at this. And now, from this quite a generic type of conversation, I would like us to have a look at the Ibexa DXP itself. And I put a little title underneath about composability, which is conquering the complexity. Having still those 4 pillars I mentioned before, let me give you a quick look at how we levels of maturity between different customers. And in order to give them what they actually need, we have introduced three main core products, starting from the headless one. And the name can be a bit misleading because you don't have to use it in headless mode, but it's more to emphasize on the fact that this is a core brick, a building brick for the platform. Then on top of that, with some extra features, we have Ibexa DXP experience flavor, and then on top of that, also commerce. As you can see from this pyramid, we are cloud native, but we also can be delivered on premise, even though majority of our customers would go for the cloud. But we are not a SaaS product per se. We are developing and shipping products in PaaS mode. And then at the very top of the pyramid, you also can see three extra sort of products, complementary products. CDP, Customer Data Platform, Connect. It's a tool for integrating different systems. It's an integration platform as a service type of a software. And then on the right-hand side also, personalization. As you can imagine, I will not have time to talk about all of these products. So let's focus on the pyramid itself first. I said that we believe in composability. And this is a trend that we see today on the market where customers are maybe a little bit overwhelmed with these big suites of products where you buy one massive product which is difficult to maintain, which is probably also quite expensive, and it's not that easy to develop further. We look at this slightly differently. You remember these colors from the pyramid, you remember this Gartner definition, and it says clearly about the core technologies. Here are the components that we have identified based on the conversations with clients, based on the experience. We have identified these elements as these core technologies. And if we have a look, you can see that we do cover topics from more the CMS world, where you have headless, where you have collaboration, where you have search, down digital asset management, personalization, also PIM, because we speak about B2B companies here, companies that often tend to have a lot of products to be presented, complex products to be presented. So we need to deliver them tools so they can really make sure that the products are out there and visible in the right place, in the right time. And on top of that, also this experience layer, the orange one, where we do provide a website factory. Many of our clients, they tend to be companies with multiple brands, multiple regions, with multiple languages, and so on and so forth. It's not as simple as having a separate single website to rule them all. Typically, they will need multiple different websites to get there. Also, in the heart of this part, you can see CDP, a customer data platform. This is very trending type of technology these days. More and more companies start to understand that in order to increase, let's say, the revenue, you need to know your customers, you need to know what they like, you need to be able to identify these prospects, which are probably the most interesting to you, and also you need to be able to deliver value to them. And often this value is being presented through the portals. We'll get back to this topic in a second when I have an example. Now on the right hand side, just the three items in purple. Of course, there is more, but just the three items in the purple, they are a representation of Ibexa Commerce. They are maybe not over-presented on this graph, but I actually did that a bit on purpose. We'll explain more in a second, but I would like to show you one more thing. Now, you see all of these components, but this composability can be also understood in wider terms. So if you look outside of the DXP itself for a moment, and I'm so happy to also introduce you to the Quantum group that Ibexa belongs to. Basically, Quantum Group is a group of multiple technology companies, exclusively from Europe. So we are all companies based in Europe, delivering to European customers, even though, of course, we work on different markets, but we have this European vibe. So you will feel like between colleagues when doing that. And all of these companies are basically bringing solutions such as marketing automation. This is Affidati, engagement platform. This is Qualifio, customer data platform, CDP, it's Raptor, then streaming services from Streamlabs, and also this is at none. So when we have a look at this now, a DXP, extra fueled with all of these solutions, all of these extra capabilities on top, can have really a massive impact on the performance of your digital presence. A little one thing, because I'm very proud about that, I like to share this news with everyone. Ibexa DXP as a DXP platform was recognized as a top performer in Gartner's Voice of Customer in 2023, was the same 2022. Well, it looks like our customers like our product and they agree with our values, methodology and approach. So yeah, just wanted to bring it there. Now, I mentioned that the core of this presentation and the core of the information and knowledge I would like to share today is somehow encapsulated in the methodology that we have created over the time. And before I take you to a few interesting client cases and references, I would like to take a few minutes to describe it, because this methodology is quite crucial when it comes to digital transformation of our customers. And before you ask the question, is it the right and only methodology? Well, it's probably not. But what I can say though is that many of our B2B clients found this really helpful on the way for planning all of the next steps of the transformation itself. We see it less and less now, but especially in 2020 and later during the pandemic, we have been facing many customers reaching out and saying, I need to digitalize, I need to have e-commerce. Online shop is what I need. Well, it's not that simple. It's not always like that. Sorry. So what you might be looking at this slide now and saying, well, hold your horses. There's a lot of things happening there. And you are 100% right. There is a lot of things happening there because this is how digital transformation is really like in the real life. It is complex and we all have to face it. Working with a number of customers, we have established this methodology where we have identified 5 or 6, depends how you count this, 5 or 6 steps of digital transformation. You can see some example logos here and there, but I will do my best to present you some of them in more details in a moment. Looking at the slide itself, looking at the methodology itself, where do we start? We start from the bottom and we grow to the top. We look at these stages. We look at the customer. When we talk to them, we are often able to identify at which stage they are currently. It's not like everyone is starting from zero. Some companies have already done some progress over the time, so they digitalized some of the aspects, and some of our customers are already very high in these stages. Probably looking at this, you will agree that a direct jump from zero to fully blown B2B e-commerce platform has probably quite low chances of working out. I'm not saying there's no companies out there who succeeded doing that, but basically you need to do a little bit more work before you jump to a fully blown e-commerce on the website, especially for big B2B companies. Probably it's easier to do for small B2C kind of a companies that eat t-shirts, but of course we are not talking about these companies today. So looking at the stages, starting from the stage 0 at the very bottom, it's when the whole presence of the company is very basic. It may be just a basic corporate website, few pieces of information here and there, and when it comes to the sales processes, those are often very manual, very human-driven, and often physical. In other words, if you want to buy something from that company, you probably have to get your phone, book a meeting, meet with a salesman, get a deal, sign it, send some papers, and so on and so forth. Moving one step higher to the stage 1, this is the stage where we start talking about brand consistency across different regions, about different countries being covered, about different markets, in terms of regions, of course, different departments for the brands, and so on and so forth. It's all about building the awareness. It's all about being consistent when it comes to your brand. And for this, you could argue, do I need a DXP to get to that stage? And the fair answer is probably no, you don't. If you want to stop there, And if you feel that this is the ultimate goal of your transformation, you could probably very well go with a simple CMS solution, and that would probably work just fine. Going a little bit higher though, wouldn't be possible with just a CMS. For that, you will need a DXP, a proper DXP in place, because at the stage 2, we often talk about online catalogs, or maybe to be more precise, about online products presence. I'm sure there is not just one person in the audience today knowing this kind of a company where you have a product catalog printed, delivered almost as a phone book, where you have 400 pages with pictures and description and maybe some pricing sometimes. And this is like that because these companies have complex products and they have a lot of these products, and there was no better way to do that before. So everyone was just printing it, sending this to resellers, sending this to customers. The goal of this stage is to make sure that you can bring these products online, that you can present them well, that you can make them accessible so people can find the right product, they can find information about the usage of the product, about the capabilities and how they fit to their needs. So this is the stage that we like to call the consideration evaluation of products. Then moving one step higher, you will find these companies at the stage number 3. This stage is all about the engagement. So we have established the brand, we have established all the multilingual things, we have websites, we have mobile app maybe. We start building product catalog, products are there, people can find them. And the next step is to automate these processes that, for different reasons, still need to be, to some extent, human-driven. And the natural move is to introduce some sort of a portal, B2B portal, call it, meaning a place where these companies can log in, they can find invoices, contact information, sales representative, they can see some payments, promotions, special offers. They need this kind of place. Probably you don't need them or you don't want them to call your salesman every single time because it's just an operational hurdle to deal with sending an invoice or checking if the payment is there. That should be automated. I'm pretty sure you would agree with me. And now finally, having all of these little pieces in place, it's wise to start talking about e-commerce because you're well equipped to introduce such a piece into the whole ecosystem of the solutions you have. And again, there are probably companies doing that from 0 to 4, no problem with that. We see from the experience that that's working just better to go step by step, gradually to the top. So when you're ready, you can introduce e-commerce with all the products in there, with all the regions, with all the taxes, with multi-language, with translations, with the portal, invoicing, maybe requesting quotas, and so on and so forth. You can imagine that also requires a lot of integration. Then the step number 5 or 6, depends how you count it, it's digital innovation. This is where it's all for the customer, and this is where you start doing things very specific to the business they have. Maybe some product configurators, maybe some dedicated web spaces in order to obtain some related information. With a lot of different ideas out there, and this is where we support these customers through the way how we build the product. I will give you more details moving on. So that's about the overview of the methodology. 5, 6 steps. Let's move on. So the first step, I already described it briefly. It's all about brand consistency. So you should be your own advocate. You should be unique. You should be readable. And well, I have an amazing reference for that. This is our client, Whirlpool. It's a very long-standing client. We worked together for many years now. It already went above the stage 1, but I still like to use this example as it resonates very well with all needs of a company being at the stage 1. So what they do, they deliver a unified, consistent brand visibility for their 5 logos. So it's not only Whirlpool, but also Indesit, Hotpoint, Bulknet, KitchenAid. And they do deliver that in more than 30 countries now. So you can imagine that obviously these websites are available in different languages. They are slightly different for different regions to also address the specifics of the market. And yeah, interestingly, they have separated editorial teams, divided them not only per brands, but also per regions and countries. So they basically spread the team around, people responsible for the websites, but through the platform, they were able to configure it in a way that these people can do only the right things at the right time and in the right place. They leverage a lot multiple content-related features of Ibexa. You could say maybe those more CMS-related types of features. And I would like to show you at least one, because time is flying. And the feature I would like to get your focus on is called Page Builder. So it's a visual builder for the pages, basically. Oops, sorry. Just screen. Fantastic. So let me welcome you to Ibexa DXP. I will be logging into the backend of the system. This is our little demo instance where we have put together a website of imaginary company that works in the medical space. So they do produce some pharmaceuticals, but also some complex medical devices. But let's not spend too much time here. I want to take you there. So quickly, it's been waiting too long for me. After getting, of course, you see I'm logging as an admin, so I can see a lot of things. All of these can be very limited to specific needs of every single group of editors. We can narrow it down. We start from the dashboard. We can see a lot of different things. In this mode, when I'm more a marketer, I would like to see some stats about the website. We are fetching this from Matomo, but also I can get some information about all the content I'm working on. I also get some news here and there. I promised to show you the visual editor, so let's get there. I'm landing at the content tree. This is the place where I can see all the content related to my website, this specific website, because as you can see, I can switch between different contexts. But let me work now on the English one. And then, of course, I structurize my website through different levels of the content. The content can be defined by the customer, the content types, there is a full flexibility. It's always being adjusted by the implementation partner on the way to go. Well, as a marketer, I can see a quick preview of my page. I can see a preview of every single page just browsing through the editor. But what I wanted to show you is the editor itself. So when I open it, I can see exactly the same page as I had on the front end, with the only difference being that now I can actively modify that page. So you can see the system indicates a few places here and there. We call them drop zones. Those are the places where I can take and put a block from my it's like a library of elements, library of blocks. We do deliver quite a number of them out of the box, but that's interesting place of the system. This is where we often see these being extended by the implementation partners, adding some extra blocks, adding some extra stuff. Let me quickly show you how this is working. So I take a little block over here, and I will be embedding another content item into that block. What is very interesting and what is different between the DXP and the CMS is the fact that Ibexa is also treating products as content objects. So I can start promoting my product as it would be just a content. So I can actively blend my content and my products in the same place. You can also see I have the add button here. So when I publish this, I could let people directly buy the product. And I will also see that the currency is being adjusted to the setting of the website I'm using. So if I switch to the French website, I will get euros. If I switch to the UK website, I will get British pounds, and so on and so forth. On the more marketing mode here, I can also start redoing stuff. I can move things around. I can do direct actions with my blog. I can change the config. I can duplicate it. I can refresh, and so on and so forth. And of course, I can do little things like undo this or that way. If I done something wrong, I can always get back. Interesting for marketers, for those of you who are focusing on delivery goals on mobile, you can preview everything happening, everything what you have done, actually live on the fly. Very quick teaser. We'll maybe get to that tool later on, but for the moment, let me get back to this point. let's say we have all the brands live, we have them consistent, they probably have quite similar UI, they have quite similar feeling, the users are kind of convinced that this belongs to the one group. So from there, we can jump to the topic of a step 2, meaning online catalogs, meaning the presence of your products online. And as we discussed before, it is not trivial to suddenly put thousands of products online, no more than no more 4 pages long printed catalog. It is not what you want. You want them to be online. Well, for a simple reason, you can update them quickly. If you send a printed catalog out there, people will not be able to update that. And for this, I have a great example. I'm sorry I'm not taking you to all of these websites. We wouldn't have time to do that. But feel free to Google for them. Those websites are live and using Ibexa, so you can check that later on. But the next example is Dymax. Dymax is a client that we worked with for at least 5 years now, I think. It's an American company. They specialize in adhesives products. Quite a complex and very technical thing. You have to be an expert to understand what they do, really. But they supply, among the others, to the aero industry. So you can imagine that the top quality of the products it's very important. So they basically produce some light curable materials. They do some light cleaning equipment, dispensing equipment, and you can probably find these products all around you, but you don't even know that they made it. What they did, they basically make a lot of products on a daily basis, and these products are complex, as I said, very technical, with lots of specifications, where lots of details, and these details needs to be presented. It wouldn't be. It's not only about putting them online. These products must be there also in a nice way, so the customers can find them. And Dymax, they managed to separate 3 brands with one Ibexa installation, heading towards full B2B e-commerce quite soon. And we were with them from almost the beginning. They came to us with the stage 0. And they started from pure corporate website to very much client-oriented, multilingual architecture at the moment. If you go to that website, you will find a very nice product finder, which is actually leveraging Ibexa product information management. But I would like to show you quickly how this product management can look like. Let me just switch the screen. So now leaving this CMS part of the platform, I can go to my product catalog. And you remember these products can also behave like content items, so I can use them everywhere. But to start with, let me take you to the products. This is one big product catalog where I put all my products. Of course, I can categorize these products in different categories. I can have some products which are maybe not categorized. In this case, these machines we talked about. And you probably already noticed that I have different types of products, which is obvious and natural. And here, these product types will be very similar in terms of behavior to the content types. So the customer, together with the implementation partner, will be able to find out what kind of product types they need, what kind of attributes they should have, what kind of marketing data should be stored there. And based on that definitions, they can start creating different products. Of course, we can now talk about integration, how to fetch these products from the outside, how to make sure the stock is up to date. This is all possible. And in a preview of that product, I can see indeed all the marketing data, more related to the content, how you present it, but also I can see all the attributes. So where there is a need, like in Dymax case, where they have a lot of technical details about the products, they store them as attributes, basically. I can have asset management, quite typical thing. You put some images and stuff around that, but I can also have pricing. So we said that needs to be that this DXP needs to support different regions, different languages, different pricings, different tax rules as well, because if you are trading on different markets, of course this is changing. So you can do that. You can manage it here directly in the platform, but of course you can fetch that information from the outside. Simple stock management availability here, so I can see how many of these products I have, if they are available or not, and and so on. What I want to show you specifically is the translations part. So I said that the products, that the products behave like content items, and the natural consequence is that I can also translate them, because of course I want to have a different product description on the French website, different on the Italian one. And then more for the marketing maybe, we can also see a nice preview of how this product is being presented, so meaning how many work is still ahead of a manager who's dealing with products, so I can see, okay, I have all the attributes, all the data, but I'm maybe missing some assets. So it's a nice thing for the stats. You can fetch that, you can see how your product catalog is progressing basically. On top of that, you can generate different catalogs, because you, as we said, if we imagine you have thousands of products, you don't want to put them in one big catalog. You would probably like to have some dedicated catalogs. Maybe you have some products which are available only to a special type of clients. And with these requirements in mind, you could start creating new catalogs and basically filter out the big catalog you have, the whole container, and make that smaller. Let's say maybe the category is not the best example here, but if I go here, let's say I want only these products of a specific type to be present, but I could also maybe filter by the price. I hope I have this one with this price, sorry, for euros, and I want it from 0 to 15. So this way, adding more and more and more filters, being even very specific, taking specific products and matching very, very narrowed criteria, I can build these catalogs and then eventually present to my different groups of customers different catalogs, so they can get the right information quickly. There's many more, but I will not be able to show you everything today, so just a teaser. And with that in mind, I think we will we'll be able to move to the next stage. Sorry. So the next step, the step number 3. We discussed that when you have the content, when you have the products, that would be cool to start using these things to also engage with the clients. And we would like to bring some engagement to make your product looking attractive, appealing, making sure that people can really interact with the company. Here I have an example which is way different than the previous ones, because it's not actually a manufacturer. They are not making things per se. This is a Stromnetz Hamburg. This is our client, this time from Germany. As I said, a little bit different than the previous ones, but also super interesting. That's why I brought it to the table. It is a local electricity producer and provider for the city of Hamburg and surroundings. I said it's interesting, and I believe so, because they have decided to invest in digitalization in terms of portals. Portals where the customers can always stay up to date with the invoices, with promotions, with some special offers. And what is extra on top of that is that they are serving both B2C and B2B classes of clients. They work not only with the consumers of the energy, but also with the producers of the energy. And they address these customers in a very multi-channel way. So they use Ibexa as a place to store product information, content, and also like a delivery tool when it comes to the website. But on top of that, they also utilize the content repository in a headless mode to fuel their own application. What are the capabilities, components that they are using? Well, a few. Let me take you there. Yeah, there you go. So one feature I wanted to also bring to the table, it is called corporate management. So when you are a B2B company, it rarely happens that you sell to a random Antonio out there. You probably sell to another company, and you want your customer to be represented as a company, not necessarily as a single person. So what we have in the platform, you could even call it a little CRM if you like. It's a corporate account management where we can store all of these companies. We can invite companies to create accounts, and we use that for storing information, for storing references, for storing addresses, and so on. If you have a look, of course, I have my basic information about the company. I know who's the contact person on the company side. which group they belong, how many sales they have made last year. Well, this file is maybe not the most active, but you get the point. On the company profile, I can store all of these little pieces of information that might be useful for me when it comes to addressing them properly. And the members. I said that it's rarely a single person buying on behalf of the company. Sometimes it's multiple people, and you want to have them aggregated underneath a specific company. So this is exactly what we do here. We have 3 people from that company being allowed to purchase on behalf of that company. And we can also extend that list by adding new members, inviting people, making sure that they can get access to that. When it comes to the front-end side, we also provide an implementation out of the box. Of course, this can be very much changed, especially in terms of the UI. That would be typically work of an implementation partner of Ibexa. Eventually, of course, I can store different billing and shipping addresses. So the company might have a main entity in one city, but the warehouse in another one. We want this to be basically reflected. And then on top of that, in order to engage with people in a nice way, you should be also able to address them nicely, and you can send the right message to the right people. And a good example, just one example of how you could do that, is to use a targeting. You can do that on the landing pages, you can do that in the content. Basically, how it works, we can have different segments in the platform. We can sync them with the VM, we can sync them with different data sources. And based on the knowledge that this given user belongs to a specific segment, we can show specific content items. And now you remember content item is also a product. So what I do here, I show this blog post to everyone, but if the user is dermatologist, I will be showing a product. So now I'm browsing the page and I see a blog post. But if I preview this page as a dermatologist, you can now see that I'm seeing another one, so I choose a blog post. But you see it is changing for specific people. So we can have the segments based on the interest. We can also get that from the CDP. But we can also have dedicated segments to different companies. We can address a single company on their own. Here you see that this is coming from my corporate accounts. I have my Wildren Smith, and I can show a specific content just for them. Moving forward, because time is flying, let's just have a look at the watch. Step number 4. We discussed all of the steps before. Now it's time. Let's start with the e-commerce. Let's bring it to the table. And for that, I have a very nice example, a company I really like because it's super complex when it comes to what they do. I'm glad to introduce to you Burkert. It's yet another customer from Germany. It's a manufacturer of bulbs. They make a lot of variations, and I believe over 1,000. So as usual with these type of products, it's quite complex to find a proper one that matches the needs of a specific client. You might have different requirements, different usages. It might be for gas, or maybe for water, or maybe for something else. And what they did with Ibexa DXP, Burkert managed to deliver multi-country, multi-region, multi-language website with multi e-commerce in place as well. So it complies with all the needs of different regions in terms of taxes, shipping management, payment methods, and so on and so forth. And without further delay, I could also show you some of these capabilities right away. So getting back to the platform. Now we will have a look at the commerce side. Maybe starting from something you could call trivial, but I'm showing that for a reason. Maybe better to focus here. You can see that I have defined different shipping methods for different regions. So I have my standard and express delivery in the United Kingdom. But then for France, I have DHL. I don't even know if it works in France, but you get the point. So you can have this flexibility for setting up different providers, different solutions for different regions. This is quite important. And of course, on top of that, you get the order management, where you can see all the orders with all the statuses. And the statuses, by the way, and the whole workflow of the checkout can be very much configurable, can be changed. We have a client, let's say, as an example, we have a client in Colombia who's selling cinema tickets. So they changed the workflow of the checkout, so they can see, the picture where you select different different seasons. Getting back here. You can see different statuses, you can see the progress, you can see what has been purchased, what is basically the shipment data, what is the payment data, and so on and so forth. You can track that directly. You can also save that data back and forth, because you might say, hold up, I already have the ERP in place. I want this data to be in the ERP, and the ERP should be my only source of truth. That's very much possible, and that's very much what many customers are doing. So on the integrations, if time permits, I will also give you a look how this could be done. Payments, well, quite similar. You can imagine, you can track every single payment, you can see what payment method has been used, and so on and so forth. And a very similar thing also for the shipments. So those three things are separated when it comes to the presentation, but of course they are very much interconnected to each other. And step number 5. I told you that this step number 5, the last step in the methodology, is where we open a lot of doors, and where the customer starts doing things very specific to their own business. And here I also have an example, yet another customer I really do like. It's Atlantic. It's a French prototype of heating and cooling systems. I think they are very present in Italy as well. The main focus is, as I said, heating systems, radiators, heat pumps, and air conditioning. And the sales model is what's very interesting here, because of course you, as a person, can go to the shop and buy the radiator of Atlantic, but this is not where they make money. Where they make money is to sell through professionals. They call it business to professionals, B2Pro, which are, by the way, also businesses. So you could say it's B2Pro to B or something, but they call it B2Pro. What they did with Ibexa DXP, they provide a site, dedicated website to these professionals. So let's say you are building a house, you hire somebody responsible for the heating, they think how it should look like, and they purchase that on your behalf. So what Atlantic did, they created this space where these professionals can go, create this offering for a customer, put all the legal pieces that are required for the house, and share that directly with a client for the review, for discussion, to get an idea, to give an idea to a customer how this could be done. We are now on the way of bringing full e-commerce platform to that website. We have like many websites with them. I'm bringing this specific one because I like the fact that you can also address these very special sales models. It doesn't have to be B2B per se. It doesn't always have to follow the same rules. You can get a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. I'm going to use my time to the very end, and I promised to give you at least a little idea of the integrations. And at the slide with the products, you could have seen also Ibexa Connect. It's a tool that you can use for integrations with other systems. Very visual, very responsive, quite fast. You can see the history of all the operations. You can expose webhooks, and there is over 1,000 different applications pre-configured that you can start using. So you basically build scenarios, you make decisions based on different variables, and you can, as on this screen, you can see based on the data coming from Ibexa, you can put something to Excel, you can put something to Zenbase. Maybe you can, maybe you want to send some updates to Salesforce CRM. This is very much possible with Ibexa Connect, and this is also very much something that our clients are utilizing on a daily basis. I think I'm right on time, so thank you for having me today. I appreciate that. Thanks, Manuel and Alex, for inviting us. I really hope that next time I can be on site with you and also have some follow-up conversation. But if you find this interesting and you would like to explore maybe on your own, please feel free to scan that QR code. You will land on a website that will let you use interactive demos of Ibexa. You can click around, you can see how different features are working. And if that's interesting for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Please don't hesitate to drop us an email or a call. We'd be happy to discuss with you. Thank you so much, and I hope you have more interesting conversations today. Presentations waiting for you. So, yeah, thanks a lot. Pleasure being here.
Thank you, Kamil.
everyone. Enjoy
Bye.
the afternoon. Thank you.
Ciao
Bye bye.
Paolo, saluti.
Ciao.